And this year, we spent a lot of time wrestling with what discipleship meant. And when I've talked with my students and with the staff, one of the things I like to remind them is that discipleship is now a Christian word, but back in the day, it wasn't. Plato and Aristotle, these ancient philosophers, they had disciples. Seneca, these Roman philosophers, they had disciples. The Pharisees, they had disciples. A lot of people had disciples. Discipleship was actually a common thing. What makes it crazy is what Jesus did with it. For most folks, when you would get a disciple, somebody who's going to follow you, you'd want to get somebody who's well-educated, went through the proper channels in their day, went to high school, got a college degree. And what we know about Jesus' people is none of them were educated. So we already see Jesus flipping something totally upside down. The world wants educated disciples. Jesus' disciples explicitly are not educated. The world usually wanted wealthy people. You'd usually need a lot of money to make it through the system to earn the right to present yourself to a rabbi and a teacher and say, I've got the education, I got the money, I'm ready to go. And we know that many of Jesus' disciples were fishermen, didn't have a lot of money, weren't very well off, and so we see Jesus again flipping the script. Not only so, women were very rarely, if ever, disciples of wisdom teachers and Jewish men. And in Luke 8, we're told Jesus had women disciples who walked with him, who financially supported his ministry. And so in all these different ways, there's this concept that we hear about, and Jesus says, I'm going to take it, and I'm going to flip it upside down and do it my own way. No other wisdom teacher or even Jewish leader made such radical demands to the disciples who wanted to follow him. Jesus' first call to a disciple, okay, you want to rock with me? Sign up. Are you ready to die? And it's like, well, I will not be signing up for this thing. If I go over here to one of these other people, I may get educated, I may get bread, I may have a good career. Jesus is like, all right, carry your cross. Are you ready to denounce your mother and father? Are you ready to denounce all your possessions? Here you go, sign up. And you could imagine why some of the crowds were somewhat taken back. And there's a verse that demonstrates the kind of radical expectation Jesus had for his disciples that I want to read specifically because this passage almost perfectly encapsulates what we read about Elisha and Elijah in 1 Kings 3.